What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall market. We'll talk about some very key levels that are forming and a very nice setup that could be forming on Tesla as well. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. The offer ends in just about 5 days. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with the market. So, as far as Tesla is going right now, we are seeing a little bit of a dip on Tesla, which is what we were talking about in my morning video. But despite this, we could be forming a nice cup and handle like structure, which may lead to a lot more upside later on. So there is still that potential in Teslas, especially as we get closer to the month of January. But for now, we're going to be watching some key levels. So just know that for today, we had initial jobless claims data coming out. Everything was very close to expectations. And then at 11:30 a.m., we have the 17-week and 4 and 8-week bill auctions all coming out. So look for some volatility at 11:30 a.m. Besides that, there's not really anything else that's too crazy. As far as Tesla goes, I am seeing some news coming out about how Tesla's getting some interesting ratings from Barclays, and then looking at their overall list on different ranks, Tesla's currently ranked as the fourth on Yahoo Finance's list of AI stocks that you can't miss. I agree with that. I think it's one of the top ones. If anything, we could debate all we want about it, which is number one, which is number two. There's other great companies invested in AI, and Tesla's one of the top ones. So, nonetheless, it's still very bullish. This also leads me to this right over here. Looking at what different analysts have been saying, we have some new ratings that came out from Wall Street right now. It's looking like the majority of analysts are still more bullish on Tesla. We have about 13 buy ratings that just came out, 12 hold, and 9 sell ratings, if anything. Right now, the average price target's at about just under $300. But if anything, there is still a lot of upside, at least when it comes to AI and such. We have other investors who are still anticipating over $500 once we get deliveries. So we'll see about that as well. Now, what do I see for Tesla, at least for the shorter term? I do want to say that for the short term, Tesla's showing a little bit of weakness right over here. I did call this out in my morning video. I warned everyone about 456. With that failing, we're looking for essentially the lower 450 area. This is where this imbalance happens to be over here. So this is where this bar is, where the support happens to be. If that fails us, around this 450 to 452 area, we're looking for 445 as our target, very close to our 20 EMA. If we lose this on Tesla, there's going to be a bigger dip coming, but that's going to be fine nonetheless. The way I see this is this looks like a cup and handle like structure. So it could dip here, consolidate as time goes on, and eventually try to rebound. So I still think that Tesla still looks bullish for the more like medium term, especially as we get the next deliveries report in about a week from now. But despite that, the short term, it looks a little bit more bearish. So it could still dip a little bit lower. It's about 452, if not 450 or below. It could be dipping a little bit more. And we'll see if we get some kind of bounce or not on it later on. But just know there is that risk of downside. Looking at the 4 hour, also on the 30 minutes time frame, it's essentially the same thing. We look weaker if you look at this 452 to 450 area. This aligns with our 50 EMA, and if that fails us, there could be a little bit more downside coming. But then we'll see if we get some kind of bounce or not. For SPY, we look bullish. SPY is attempting to make a full recovery here, holding above 600. Also, I want to say that when you look at the 4 hour time frame, SPY is looking more bullish, right? So we dipped exactly as you predicted. I called out 598. I said if that fails, look for 595. We actually held support very nicely at the 50 EMA, and now we're trying to bounce. So as long as we don't lose 600 and 598, this is now back to favoring upside. If we break the high from Friday, we're looking for a target of 603, followed by 605 as our next move to the upside. I mentioned this might dip and bounce. That's what happened so far. We held 598, and for now we look more bullish. So I see the potential in this to try to get back up to higher levels. There's some tough resistance at 601, but 603 and 605 are potential targets. For ES, we look a bit more bullish. I'm looking for 6100 as our potential target. We could try to surpass that to remain a lot more bullish. If we lose 60, we turn back down, but I think that this is going to try to make its way up to about 6,100. So there's more upside potential. If that breaks, we're looking for 6,120. So those are going to be our targets, 6,100 and 6,120. On Nvidia, I called out a potential inverse head and shoulders. We ended up dipping to 138 exactly as predicted. And if you look at the chart, There's possibly a left shoulder here, a head, and maybe a right shoulder that could be forming. We want to see it bounce and break past 142 to start breaking out. So if anything, I think that we're shuffling between 138 and 140, but we could be looking for a test of 140 or above if we do start to push. I think that there is potential for a test of 140, and we might try to surpass that. As long as we don't lose 138 and 136.5, we do favor a potential rebound for 140 plus, so watch for that very carefully. For Bitcoin, we're seeing an attempts to rebound. We did dip all the way down to about 95,000 flat, so it came short of my 94,000 target down here. It's still possible it gets down there. It depends on if we could break past 96,500 or not. If we break that, we're looking for 98,000. If we don't, we're looking for a dip back down to where there's some balances. So we'll see. I also want to mention that we have a double bottom that's forming here and a potential inverse head and shoulders. So left shoulder here, a head and then a right shoulder, and we'll have to see if this could rebound. For other factors out there, we have just to double check, we have NQ. NQ is also, it dipped all the way down very close to where our target was. I was targeting 21,820, like right down here. Came a little bit short of that target before it tried to rebound. So I think this might try to make a full recovery. As long as we don't lose 21,837, we should be trying to rebound for 22,080. If we lose 21,837, we could start dipping lower. But for now, as long as we're above that, there could be a rebound attempt for that resistance in the 22,080 plus area. For the QQQ, I called out we're looking for essentially 528, and I said if that failed, we could get close to 525. Came a little bit short to hit 526 instead. Now it's getting bought back up. So the setup looks bullish. It could be attempting to rebound if we break resistance right here at 530. There could be an attempt to get back up to 530. First off, 533, then 536. So right now the QQQ looks a bit more bullish. For Apple, we look a bit more bullish. I talked about how there could be a dip and bounce coming. We actually did not dip much and just straight up bounced. So looking for 260 is our target. If that breaks, we're looking for 262. Overall, it looks more bullish. For Palantir, we dipped and bounced, so very, very nicely. You guys can see how much it dipped. I mentioned to watch this previous resistance becoming support around 82. We actually held 82 so far, so I want to see it try to surpass 84 to turn a lot more bullish. Otherwise, we're range bound between 82 and 84, but so far it's doing a good job. For the Russell, we talked about how we wanted to see it hold 222. Got a nice rebound. We ended up breaking past our 20 EMA at 223.8. As long as we close above that, we could be favoring 228 as our next potential target. Looks a bit more bullish to me. Coinbase is looking more decent. We're range bound between 270 and 280, essentially. So we'll see if we hold. I think we just consolidate in this range for now. And I think that we need to break 270 or basically 280 to turn bullish. So I think we're stuck in the middle. So give this more time to develop. For Amazon, we're on a very, very nice uptrend right now. We'll see if 226 holds. If this holds, we could look for a rebound for higher levels like 229. If this fails us, we could be dipping to 225. We're holding support very, very well. So this could try to rebound and try to make its way back up for 228. If that's surpassed, we're looking for 230 as our target. So give this some time. For Meta, Meta is attempting a rebound attempt. We're going to see if 600 holds. I want to see it surpassed about 608 to turn back up. I am seeing that it dipped to about this 600 area, just like we were talking about, but now it's getting bought back up. So you want to see it try to surpass 610 to really start turning bullish. There's a possible left shoulder here ahead, maybe like a right shoulder forming, but we need to break 610 to turn back up. Otherwise, we're range bound between 600 and 610. We'll see how that ends up going. Microsoft looks so nice inverse head and shoulder setup. There's like a left shoulder here, a head, maybe like a right shoulder. But technically, we're still in the range between 431 and 440. We need to surpass 440 and hold above it to remain bullish. Otherwise, we're just range bound. For Google, Google looks more bullish as long as we don't lose 195. We're looking for an attempt to get back up for 198. If that breaks, I'm looking for 200 as our next target. I am concerned about the possibility of like a left shoulder, head, maybe like a right shoulder. But we haven't really gotten a true rejection yet, and we haven't officially like broken out yet. So we're stuck in the middle. Look for a test of 198. If we surpass that, I'm looking for 200 again. Otherwise, this is still range bound. So it's very choppy, very tight right now. It needs more time to develop. The VIX pumped quite a bit, but just be careful with it because it could be rejecting here and making a move back down because the market is still looking more bullish. So for now, the market did dip, yes, but there are buyers defending and they have a bigger edge right now. If SPY can surpass 601, we're going to be looking for a bigger push to the high from Friday. If that breaks, we're looking for another big pump. As far as Tesla goes, however, we're just range bound. There is that risk of downside for a retest of 452 to 450. If that fails, we're looking for 445. But then, despite the possibility of downside, we could be forming a nice cup and handle. So just keep that in mind, guys. Otherwise, I want to thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Thank you, and peace out.